Hey, flockers! Birdmas is one of the most exciting seasons of the year. Delicious food, friendly guests, sparkling ornaments, twinkling lights, and festive trappings all lend to a magical season. But the season can be dangerous for your feathered friends. To make sure that every birdie has a safe and enjoyable holiday season, there are a few things to think about. Oh no! The mistletoe! And the poinsettias, Christmas cactus, amaryllis, chrysanthemum, and the holly and the ivy are all beautiful plants, but they can be toxic to the flock. Make sure to keep them well out of the reach of curious beaks. My Ooman says that guarding a plant can be a full-time job. She won't even let me try a small nibble. The tree is a beloved holiday tradition. Although pine and fir are not toxic, most have been sprayed with toxic pesticides and fire retardant spray. Sharp needles can pose a danger to the unsuspecting flock. One often overlooked hazard is the tree water. It can contain chemicals or have bacteria from sitting stagnant. Make sure it's not accessible. Artificial trees come with their own problems. They don't make a good avian bird toy. Make sure you keep the flock away from dangers. Wreaths and boughs are beautiful, but cedar contains irritants, and yews can be toxic, if not fatal. Although beautiful, the green side of Christmas is one to be admired from a very safe distance. All that glitters is a real temptation. Bright lights and tinsel look wonderful on the tree, but can also pose problems for the flock. Lights can tempt the most timid of parrots to satisfy their curiosity. An electrical cord can easily be bitten through and is a shock hazard. Lights can shatter, and shards of glass can be an issue. Angel hair should stay on the heads of angels. It's usually made of fiberglass or plastic and can be hazardous if ingested, or it can tangle around unsuspecting feet and toes, cutting off circulation. Tinsel is usually made of plastic and generally non-toxic, but it still shouldn't be ingested or played with. All bets are off when you start looking at older tinsel. Speaking of Birdmas traditions, some of the ornaments that have been in the family for generations come with their own hazards. Older ornaments could be painted with lead-based paint, so you should keep your small pet humans away from them as well as the flock. Even new ornaments can be made out of cheap materials and contain toxic metals like zinc. Although they look like great bird toys, they're not. The little sleigh bells are very cute, and although I love playing with a good bell, these are really a bad choice for a toy. In addition to being made from cheap metal, think zinc, they also have lots of places for me to catch a beak or a toe. Oh no! Some of those wrapping papers are beautiful, but be aware that metallic gift wraps may contain heavy metals, as can the pretty tapes and ribbons. Ribbons can also tangle around unsuspecting toes. Baubles used to decorate gifts are also a problem. Not to mention what's inside the pretty packages. We just won't mention the year that I helped unwrap all the birdmas gifts by myself when my human wasn't watching. If you're looking for ideas on how to wrap my gifts, remember that I love to forage. And boxes are fun. Boxes inside of boxes are even more fun. Wrap them up in safe materials. Use craft paper and some fabric ribbons. But watch out for the metallics on the ribbons. Think about the tape that was used on the boxes. Before my human gives me a box, she removes the tape and folds the flaps together so it keeps the fun boxing shape, and there's nothing sticky for me to get my beak into. Before I start talking about the delicious smells coming out of the kitchen, I want to remind you about the dangers of candles and sprays, incense and potpourri, air fresheners, and essential oils. The flock has really sensitive lungs, and these aerosols can be a real problem, sometimes even proving toxic or fatal. Not the way to celebrate the season. A great option is to simmer cinnamon, cloves, mint, or orange on the stove. That will make the house smell seasonal in no time. The fireplace is another potential source of danger. Feathers are very flammable, and an accident only takes a brief moment. If you insist on burning a fire, make sure that you clean the chimney and the smoke vents outside of the house. Avoid using artificial logs or chips that artificially color the flames. These usually have heavy metal salts like lead, copper, arsenic, barium, or selenium. They're probably not too good for the humans to inhale either. Now for my favorite topic, holiday food. I enjoy the wonderful seasonal treats. Fresh cranberries, tasty pomegranate, baked sweet potatoes, fresh nuts in a shell. So many tasty treats. But take a moment to think about the treats that aren't bird safe. The box of chocolates on the coffee table, platters of sugary cookies, pies and cakes, salty mixes of pretzels, nuts, and bolts. A lot of these things are really not healthy for me or my feathered friends, so make sure that you keep them in places where I won't be tempted to go for a nibble. Pay some attention as well to the kitchen. It can be easy to forget basic bird safety when wrapped up in cooking for 50 of your closest friends. You've heard the warnings about Teflon before, but there are many hidden sources of Teflon. Watch out for the new non-stick tinfoil and those baking bags. When heated, these can be toxic to the flock. If you're having a potluck, think about the types of dishes, pots, and pans that food is brought over in. You might need to transfer the food into a safe container before reheating on the stovetop or in the oven. Speaking of the oven, never run an oven on self-clean when the flock is in the house. It's really important to make sure that visitors to your home who are helping in the kitchen are also aware that these things can be toxic. It's not a happy holiday story if they accidentally get too helpful. Visitors can be an exciting part of Birdmas, but sometimes too many people can be a little too much. Make sure that the flock has a safe place to hang out away from visitors. especially if a gathering runs late into the night. Sometimes it's better to keep the flock in the cage if people are coming and going and coming and going and coming and going with the doors wide open. It only takes a moment for one of my cousins to spook and head out on a grand winged outdoor adventure. That would really put a damper on festivities. Remind your visitors of the right way to interact with your feathered friends. They may not be aware of our dietary restrictions, and a finger poking at a beak will eventually get bitten. It's no fun when young fids try to pull a feather or grab a bird. A holiday party, when so many things are happening, might not be the best time to introduce a lot of new friends. Like a young child, birds can be easily overstimulated and act like overtired toddlers. Although it might seem that Birdmas is the season of the toe monster, with decorations and ribbons lying in wait to tangle unsuspecting toes, and hazards abound in every room of the house, there are a lot of great things to do this season as well. Remember, keep your pet humans safe and celebrate the true spirit of the season. You don't need all the fancy trappings and baubles and bags. It's the season to spend quality time with the flock. Happy Birdmas!